guys, welcome to yet another book haul. I just ate a purple freezy, so my tongue is all purple. And we're just gonna run with it because this is the time that I have to film. We're not waiting for my tongue to return to a normal color, but just so you know, I'm not dying. Yeah, so I got some books here. The thumbnail picture doesn't even show them all because I didn't want them all exploding. But it turns out I just really enjoy buying books. But thankfully I also enjoy reading books. I think there's a couple different hobbies when it comes to books. There's reading them, there is buying them, there's thrifting them, there's researching them, there's going to little free libraries. And fortunately or unfortunately for me, I enjoy all of those things. So in my last book haul I said that they would be smaller from now on, and that is not quite the case, but it's been almost a month since I shared my last one, so here we go. I have a lot of variety in this haul. Everything from like where I got them. I got some gifted. I went to some little free libraries. I went to some thrift stores. I went to Costco and bought some books. And I got some from Book Outlet. So I got books everywhere. And then I have a wide range of genres here. We've got everything from middle grade to adult to mystery to fantasy to historical fiction. We've got a lot going on. So we're going to start with the books that were gifted to me first. Now, my sweet subscriber, Emily, this is the third time, I'm pretty sure it's the third time, she sent me books in the last year. I appreciate her so much, but I feel so bad every time I get books from her because she just keeps sending me so many. Thank you so much again, Emily. She also sent me this book card. Book card? Really? No, it's a bookmark. Enjoy the little things, for one day you may look back and realize they were the big things. So that will be going in a book right away. And she sent me a sweet little note. Okay, I'll share this one first. This one is called The List. And she says it's a middle grade dystopian book that she thought I would enjoy. And yes, I really do like dystopian. And I don't know if I've read any middle grade dystopian. I've read the traditional YA ones, like the more well-known ones. And there's a whole bunch of words here on the cover. A bunch of words. I don't know what that has to do with anything. It says, how many words do you need to survive? The city of Ark is the last safe place on Earth. To make sure humans are able to survive, everyone in Ark must speak List, a language of only 500 words. Oh, everyone that is except Letta, an apprentice to the wordsmith. She can read all the words that have ever existed. Forbidden words like freedom, music, and even pineapple tell her about a world she's never known. That's interesting. If I remember, I'm going to try to read the first sentence of some of these. So this is the prologue. Yeah, sure, let's read the first sentence of the prologue. Smith Fearful was a scavenger. This beach was his territory. Okay, technically that was the first paragraph, it was 2 sentences. So there's that one. So that sounds very interesting. And then she sent me 2 books in the Puzzle Lady mystery series, and I have only ever heard the series talked about by Becca from Hicks Picks Books. I don't know if this series has like an order, but we've got the Purloined Puzzle and Dead Man's Puzzle, and there are some actual puzzles throughout. There are some crosswords. I hope I don't have to read or figure out the entire crossword for this because I'm not good at crosswords, so hopefully I don't have to figure that out, but I'm very excited to give these ones a try. Let's see here. The Purloined Puzzle says, when the obnoxious 16-year-old Peggy Dawson asks Cora Felton to solve a puzzle for her, Cora is delighted to find the puzzle has been stolen. She is less delighted, however, when a bloodstained knife is found in its place. The first paragraph is, I have a puzzle for you, which is an accurate first sentence, I feel like. And this next one is, I'll be fine. Oh, I don't like the word fine, because fine is supposed to be like okay, but it really doesn't. Like, I'm fine means I'm not fine. Okay, let's go with my little free library books. These are almost all like middle grade-ish, but this one isn't. I got Miss Pin Disposes. This is a Josephine Tay book. I think I just hauled one of hers that I bought one from a secondhand store, and I found this in a little free library of nothing, To Lucy Pym, author of a bestseller on psychology, the atmosphere at the college where she is lecturing is heavy with tension. Beneath the so-normal surface run sinister undercurrents of rivalry and jealousy, and then comes tragedy, an accident, or murder. And this was originally sold in Canada for $1.25. Ah, man, I wish all books were that cheap now. This edition was from 1973, but this book was first published in 1946. The first paragraph is, a bell clanged, brazen, incessant, maddening. This book also feels like it might fall apart, but that was one of my little free library finds. The other one here is an American Girl book. This is a Samantha mystery, Clue in the Castle Tower. I won't really go into detail about this, but whenever I find the American Girl books, I pick them up, or even the Dear Canada books, I pick them up for my daughter. I also got Wings on Fire for my daughter. She's got 2 friends that really like the series. I'm not going to read the first sentence in this because personally I'm not interested in it. And then I got Next Stop Chicago. This is by Mary Harlequin Bishop. This is the 5th book in the Tunnels of Moose Jaw Adventures, and we have owned the first 4 books for years. So Moose Jaw is a city in Saskatchewan, and they have tunnels that one of them they claim was maybe used by Al Capone. It's like a mobster, was used during the Prohibition. And then there's another one that they used to have this Chinese railroad thing set up for. Like you can go explore the tunnels now. But I didn't realize there was a 5th book. So I don't know what this has to do with the series, but I saw that, so I just thought I would grab it. Little free library. And then I got Lost in a Book. This is a Beauty and the Beast retelling of sorts. I read it a while ago and enjoyed it, so I thought I would pick it up and let my daughter read it and then see what she thinks. We'll read the first sentence of this because it's a little bit more up my alley than these other ones. It was as if Artemi had never existed. I really don't remember how this actually starts. I didn't love this book, but I enjoyed it, so I thought she might as well. Okay, now do I do my thrifted stuff or my book outlet stuff? Let's go thrifted. I scored 3 series, like the full series. I was so surprised. So I'll show this first one. I'm not as thrilled about this one because it's not really for me. This is Gregor the Overlander. This is I think a fantasy series by Suzanne Collins, who wrote The Hunger Games. One of my subscribers, Lindsay, who's also a pen pal of mine, has recommended this, I think, for my kids or me to read with my kids. And I got all 5 of the books. These I paid $2 a piece for, which is a little bit more than I would like, but if you're gonna get the entire series, that's pretty decent. So I am kind of curious about the first sentence of this because I don't really know anything about the series. Gregor follows his little sister through a grate in the laundry room of their apartment building, and he hurtles into the dark underland beneath the city. Oh, I kind of do like that. Gregor had pressed his forehead against the screen for so long, he could feel a pattern of tiny checks above his eyebrows. That's the first sentence of the first book. Okay, so then I bought an entire series, 6 books, but I actually already own the first 2, but I bought the entire series anyway because they all match nicely. Yes, I kind of care about that. Sometimes it's not gonna stop me from buying books if they don't match in size or hardcover or softcover, but if you can find the entire set, why not? So I got the entire Zion Covenant series. I think it's the entire one. Six books anyway, for $1 a piece. And they're in excellent condition. I own this one, but it's like a mass market paperback, and I own this one in pretty much exactly the same. It's right here. It's slightly more used. This will just go in a little free library though. And then my set at least looks like it goes together. So these are set in just before World War II. I've read the Vienna Prelude and loved it, and have been excited to continue the series. And let's just read the first bit of this. It has to do with a woman who plays in an orchestra, and I learned a lot about the beginnings of World War II reading it. So the prologue is in 1972. Let's go to 1936. Streams of iridescent twilight streaked the sky above Gothic towers. So there's the beginning of that. I'm excited to continue this. and have a set that matches. So then to go with that, I also got the Zion Chronicles series. I think all of them, 5 books, also $1 a piece. Got all of these at the same thrift store for 11 bucks. I felt like I was winning. Now, from my understanding, I haven't read these yet. I think these start just after World War II. I don't know if the Zion Covenant goes all the way through World War II. It might. I kind of don't care to know yet. I'm just gonna play it all by ear. This one, yes, because it starts in 1947. We've got Ellie, a young American photojournalist who finds herself in Jerusalem, in the Jerusalem of 1947. So the prologue is near the Dead Sea, AD 68. And then part 1 is the celebration, November 29th, 1947. And we're in Jerusalem. Let's read the prologue first sentence. It says, "Pale smoke from the oil lamp curled to the ceiling and hung suspended in the corners of the small stone room." So, yes, I have quite a few books to be reading in these 2 series. Another one I found at a thrift store for my daughter is the Royal Diaries. This is Isabel, Jewel of Castilla. This is Spain, 1466. Once again, whenever I see these, I just pick them up. Then I feel like I hit the jackpot. So these are not in order. I got another series. I believe it's an entire series. Yes, it's a trilogy. It's been a long time since I had some books falling. I got the entire, whatever the series is called, King Raven trilogy. This is Stephen Lawhead's Hood, Scarlet, and Tuck series. So the only thing is, the thrift store that I got these from, they charge more for their Christian fiction than their regular books. Paperbacks are $1, Christian fiction is $2. It's like, we don't want you reading Christian books, cause, like what? Why? You should have Christian books cheaper, if anything. But whatever, it's a rant. I still paid the $2 a piece for them. I've heard really good things about Stephen Lawhead's writing. Unfortunately, for me, most of it has been from Holly, and her and I have completely opposite tastes. Like, we are friends in real life, but when it comes to books, we have a very opposite taste. But I think that she didn't really love this series, so maybe then I will. We'll see. So this is Hood. I'm assuming these are just, yeah, like retellings of the different characters here. Hood, let's see here. The first paragraph says, "Bran." The shout rattled through the stone-flagged yard. "Bran, get your sorry tail out here. We're leaving." It's not super riveting, but we'll see. And they're also in perfect shape. And then I found another Stephen Lawhead book. This is book 2, though. In the Bright Empires series, The Bone House. I think this is the series that Holly likes. So I'll have to read book 1 first. But this one was not in the Christian fiction section. It was in the other section. So I probably still had to pay $2 because it's hardcover, though. So I felt like I was scamming the system, but I wasn't, because I still had to pay the same amount. Never mind. I thought I got a good deal. Then I also found another Christian fiction, and this one was also not in the Christian fiction section. This is Davis Bunn's Elixir. I have read one of his books so far, I think, and it was like, okay. His book was a little bit political for me, but I want to try another one. Oh, and for the record, I'm not going to share the first sentence of this book because it's the second book in a series. I don't want to give myself spoilers. So this is against a backdrop of international intrigue and ruthless drug monopolies. He delivers an intoxicating page-turner in his redemptive thriller. I dropped a book again. Wow, I am just acing this. First sentence. Taylor stood atop the cliff of Jetheri. Not very interesting, but it might get better. Okay, let's go to my Costco books. I got a book for each of my kids. The first one is Investigators, Braver and Bolder. This one is book 5. I'm pretty sure I heard about this series from a subscriber. Her name is Ashley. She has been reading this with her kids, and in the last like 8 months, my son's reading has just like skyrocketed, and it's partly because of this series and the Dogman series. Normally, these are graphic novels about alligators that are investigators. I don't really even know. They get flushed down toilets. It's personally a little bit too out there for me. but he has been taking these out from the library so often that I'm okay with buying some books that he's going to just enjoy for a short season because he's using them so much during that season. So I got that. I might also pick up, I know Book Outlet has, I think, the rest of the series. We own book 1 and now book 5. I might pick up the rest as well. And then I got the second book in the Lightfall series. So this is book 2. It's called Shadow of the Bird. And I haven't even peeked at it yet. My daughter has already read it. I mean, I kind of bought it for her. I told myself I was buying it for her so she could read it, but also I wanted to read it. Look at this cute little map. Let's see what the first page looks like. Oh, I just love these illustrations. All that color too. Just all that. So that was my Costco. And then I've got Book Outlet. And we've got a few here. I'm super excited about this one. I got The Nature of Small Birds. I've heard really good things, and here's a spoiler for upcoming videos. I just finished my first Susie Finkbeiner. I still need to figure out how to say her name. And I loved it, and so I'm very excited about this one. This one's set in 1975, and it says in 1975, 3,000 children were airlifted out of Saigon to be adopted into Western homes. When one of those children announces her plans to return to Vietnam to find her birth mother, her loving adopted family is suddenly thrown back to the events surrounding her unconventional arrival in their lives. So the other one was set during the Vietnam War that I read, so she obviously kind of knows that area. And I also am a sucker for this cover. It gives me like old lady vibes, and I love it. I love it. And adoption, that's definitely close to my heart, so I'm going to be probably reading this one very soon. Let's try the first sentence. No matter how the world has changed over the course of my life, somehow crayons still smell the way they did when I was a kid. Oh, I really like that. This is from Bruce, 2013. So curious. And then this one, I don't know if this one's Christian fiction. No, I think it's just fiction. Oh yeah, it's called Margot. This is by Gillian Cantor, but it says, in the spring of 1959, the diary of Anne Frank has just come onto the silver screen, and a young woman named Margie Franklin is working in Philadelphia at a Jewish law firm. On the surface, she lives a quiet life, but Margie has a secret. A life she once lived, a past and a religion she denied, and a family, a country, and her own diary that she left behind. Marjorie Franklin is really Margot Frank, older sister of Anne, and I just loved the take on that. Anne Frank's diary is amazing. So this one just called to me because of that. The first sentence, or yeah, paragraph says, I should begin with the simplest of truths. I am alive. So another one I want to read. Okay, and then I got Rosanna M. White. I want to read her book that just came out, Shadow of Loyalty or something, and they had a bunch more of her books, and this is The Number of Love. It's the first book in the Codebreakers series, and I don't know anything to do with codes and stuff. There was obviously a piece of tape over top of that before. It's very interesting to me. So it says, 3 years into the Great War, England's greatest asset is their intelligence network. Field agents risking their lives to gather information. Codebreakers able to crack German telegrams. Da da da. Margot, oh, another Margot, thrives in the environment of the secretive Room 40, where she spends her days deciphering intercepted messages. So that sounds interesting. The first sentence says, the numbers marched across the page in a glory all their own. Well, I'm not a person that really loves numbers, so that doesn't really speak to me, but hopefully it'll be good. Then on a whim, I bought the complete stories of Flannery O'Connor. I've never read any Flannery O'Connor, but a bunch of booktubers that I love her, so I thought I would give it a try. So these are the complete short stories. I have no idea how many, 35 if I had to guess. No idea. I just thought I would buy it. I would think I was probably going for free shipping. And when it says complete short stories, then I know that's all I have to buy, and I have it all. Okay, then I bought a Jan Karen. This is At Home in Mitford. And This is, set in England, right? It's easy to feel at home in Mitford in these green high hills. The air is pure, the village is charming, and the people are generally lovable. I have no idea why this one I just picked up. I think because it gave me like English countryside vibes. It bothers me that I can't figure out where Mitford is. Ooh, it even has a map though. I'm gonna have to look at that in more detail yet. I prefer these kind of maps to like the fantasy world maps. I feel like the fantasy ones, my brain makes them up in my head anyway, but this is kind of cool. It's like a town map. He left the coffee-scented warmth of the Main Street Grill and stood for a moment under the green awning. I really don't even know what kind of book this is, but it just kind of gave me L.M. Montgomery vibes, and I just am in the mood for that. Okay, so I think this is my 4th edition of this book, maybe 5th. I bought myself another Anne of Green Gables. Yes, I did. This now fulfills the whole collection of the Puffin in Bloom books. I've wanted this collection for like 12 years, however long it's been out, honestly, and I now have it. So yes, it's another Anne of Green Gables. Okay, this one I have looked for in thrift stores for years, and you would think I would be able to find it, but I haven't. It is Number the Stars by Lois Lowry. This is wow, I can't talk. It is a really hard-hitting story of World War II, and our main character is not Jewish, but she has friends who are, and they try to help them out. I read it a long time ago, and I wanted my daughter to read it this year. Yeah, so let's see. What's the first sentence? And it's super short too. It's amazing how much it packs a punch, and the words are large. The first sentence says, "I'll race you to the corner, Ellen." So I'm very excited for my daughter to read that this year. And the last book, this one is kind of another one for my daughter, and also for myself. This is George Orwell's Animal Farm graphic novel. I actually just got this out from the library as well, but I decided I'm going to make her read Animal Farm this year, and I thought this might make it a little bit more interesting to also do this. I'm not a huge fan of the illustrations. I knew that buying it because I saw the library one, but I don't know. We'll see. Maybe, see, my husband likes Animal Farm. I kind of think it's boring. I don't know. I understand the meaning behind it and stuff, but I think I'll get more out of it in this format actually. So there's that. Okay, so that was a fairly large book haul. That was a lot of books, but a lot of them were series, and a lot of them were all pretty cheap or free. The most expensive ones were my Costco ones that I bought that I can say were for homeschooling, so it's all good. So I think that I didn't, no, that wasn't all. I'll be right back. See, I found more. Okay, another one that was in the book outlet haul was Garlic and the Vampire. I just shared this one, I think last week, in my reading check-in. It's a cute little graphic novel about a girl named Garlic. She lives with this witch that brought some vegetables to life, and there's a vampire in the area, and of course Garlic has to go confront him because vampires don't like garlic. It was really cute, and I missed in my anticipated releases for the next few months. There is Garlic and the Witch is coming out as well, so I want to check that one out. Okay, next ones are all little, yeah, they're all little free library books, and I'm not really sure about all of them, but they're from a little free library. They can go back. I've actually started kind of doing some swaps with little free libraries. If there's some books that are staying for a long time in my little free library, I'm bringing them to a different one and pulling in other ones. So I got John Grisham's The Runaway Jury. I remember watching this movie. I can't read this book until I read The Testament by him, because I've had that since Oshina was raving about it forever ago. I have to read that one first, but I thought I would pick this one up since it was in the little free library. Let's see the first sentence. The face of Nicholas Easter was slightly hidden by a display rack filled with slim cordless phones, and he was looking not directly at the hidden camera, but somewhere off to the left, perhaps at a customer, or perhaps at a counter where a group of kids hovered over the latest electronic games from Asia. That was a really long sentence. Okay, then I got this copy of The Great Gatsby. Obviously somebody's dog got a hold of this. It doesn't look so great. I honestly just couldn't remember if I had this, owned a copy of this book or not. I don't know if I'm gonna actually keep it with the dog chewing, but I picked it up. Then I found this, Sundog Highway, writing from Saskatchewan. So these are Saskatchewan poems and short stories by people that are from here. So honestly, I have kind of low expectations, but I want to read them for sure. Let's see, let's pick one. Let's pick a line of a poem or something. Is there poems? There was a poem. Here's a poem. Okay, this is perfect. It's called Local News. We will read the first few paragraphs here. It's by Gary Highland. Meanwhile, in the hills southwest of Moose Jaw, crocus insurgents have infiltrated outlying regions. And because it mentioned Moose Jaw and I just hauled a book that is set in Moose Jaw, that seems perfect. Then I got Meridian. This is Philippa. Is that how you say your name? Philippa Gregory? I once upon a time knew how to say her name. I read The Other Bullion Girl for a library book club. Wasn't a huge fan. And I don't really know what... Apparently this is getting too long because I got cut off reading that. But this is very different than what I thought she wrote. I thought she just wrote about the different royalty. So I don't know, maybe I'll try it. Then I got Sharon Creech's Moo. This is a middle grade free verse novel, so it's super short. I read this a number of years ago. Wouldn't mind rereading it. I have loved almost every single Sharon Creech book that I've read, but I don't remember this one. Zora was chasing us. Moo moo. When 12-year-old Rena, her little brother Luke, and their parents moved to Maine, Rena doesn't know what to expect. Her parents volunteer her to work for an eccentric neighbor and has one very ornery cow named Zora. Yeah, I totally don't remember it, but I'm pretty sure I've read it, so I'll give that a try. I guess what's the first bit say? The truth is, she was ornery and stubborn, wouldn't listen to anybody, and selfish beyond selfish, and filthy, caked with mud and dust, and moody. You'd better watch it or she'd knock you flat. That's about the cow. And then the last book now, I think, pretty sure, is The Truth According to Us. This is by Annie Barrows. She wrote the Guernsey Literary and Potato Peel Society along with, was her aunt or something? A relation of sorts. I've heard not so great things about this one. People expect it to be as good as Guernsey Literary and it's not. But I wanted to try it because I love Guernsey Literary, and it's also, this is in perfect shape. From a little free library. She's also the author that wrote like the Ivy and Bean series for kids. So I don't know what this is. It's the summer of 1938. Lila Beck's father, a United States senator, cuts off her allowance and demands that she find employment on the Federal Writers Project. Within days, she finds herself far from the accustomed social whirl, assigned to cover the history of a remote mill town of Macedonia, West Virginia, and destined, in her opinion, to go completely mad with boredom. You know, I actually feel like I might have started this book. In 1938, the year I was 12, my hometown of Macedonia, West Virginia, celebrated its sesquicentennial? A word I thought had to do with fruit for the longest time. Wow, and a word I cannot say. I kind of think maybe I started this. I don't think I got very far though. So, yes, now we are done this book haul. Lots of free books, lots of cheap books, a few books that were full price. Let me know what I kind of should prioritize from these. I have so many books. I want to prioritize so many, but it's like some of these. I got this one for free. I paid a couple dollars for some, and this is multiple hours of entertainment for such a cheap price. When you think about all these other things people do for entertainment, books are like where it's at. So thanks for being here, guys, and listening to me ramble about books.